somebody against Matt Petgrave. Markovic. Kelly. Inside. It's in. It's Alex Forbes.
Welcome to Clan Chat. Aaron Murphy alongside, albeit across the ocean, over there in Salt Lake City, Utah. It is Alex Forbes, back for another season in purple. And I guess, first of all, what are you doing in Salt Lake?
Just visiting my wife Kennedy's family. I come here every year for a couple of weeks. This has been about a month this year, so I come back on Monday to get training again and get ready for the season.
Well, let's just dispel the rumors now. Like the Yeti, the Mammoth, the Utah Hockey Club, they're not trying to poach you, are they?
No, I don't think so. I haven't heard from them yet.
Well, keep your phone on. You never know. Is there a buzz over there? I mean, not to go off track, but is there a buzz over there about the fact that there is an NHL team coming to Salt Lake City next season?
Yeah, seems to be a huge buzz with just everyone from kids to adults. And I think Utah does a great job of promoting new sports and supporting their teams. So I think if they can get some good players in, I think they'll do very well here.
Well, just actually turn your phone off. We don't want you going anywhere. Are you a Yeti guy, a Mammoth guy? Like, what's your hope for the name?
I like Yeti.
Yeti's cool. We were joking off camera there. You're probably too young, but Utah Saints, there was a DJ set that had a song, Utah Saints, and that would be pretty cool. Could be their goal song, ready-made goal song for the team name. But it will be a cool opportunity, won't it? Because it's probably a city crying out for another major sports team other than the basketball, of course.
Yeah, it's not a huge city as far as American cities goes, but when there's a team here, no matter if they're winning or losing, they're going to sell out every game. They're going to do what they can to get good, and the owner's willing to do whatever. So I think it's going to be really exciting for the future. There's going to be a lot of kids come out of Utah, I think.
Yeah, that's if you can see it, you can be it. So it'll open up a new avenue there.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about last year. Obviously, no one that wasn't near good enough, and no one even possibly at the start of this time last year when we were chatting thought 10th would be in the script. But as I've said recently, it's no one's God-given right to win, and that's what happened. That's what we have to learn from. So, from a player's perspective, Forbesy, was it right away? The season ends. You certainly weren't happy. Are you thinking, well, I want to come back and make good on this? I want to come back and right this wrong, so to speak?
Yeah, well, no one was happy, and everyone was pretty annoyed with how the season finished and where we finished. And I know I can speak for everyone, say that everyone was very disappointed. I wanted to come back from as soon as the day finished. I wanted to be in Glasgow for as long as I can. I love being in the city of Glasgow. I love the organisation. I think it's done how it's run is very professional, and we get taken care of off the ice, which is the main thing for performing on the ice, I think, and that goes a long way with new players coming in and old players telling new players what they think of the club. So
when you get the call from, well, unfortunately, look, you never want anyone to lose their job, but there's a coaching change made, and does Corey get onto you and say, here's the deal? I know that you and I chatted a little bit, but certainly it's Corey's hockey team. It's his team to recruit. And I know right away he liked the fact that you can play forward and defense. So there's always, like, when coaches look at things, there's always that, okay, this guy can do that. So it's obviously a feather in your cap. But was it an easy conversation when you talked to Corey?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was a nice conversation. He said he likes to teach the game of hockey and coach the game of hockey, so that's good. He's very detail oriented by the sounds of things, hearing from Lacko and other guys that have played for him. So I think it'll be good, and he'll keep us on the right track, and he'll make sure every details for the structure is in place and everyone knows what they're doing at all times.
I mean, I guess it's the nature of sport to some degree, and you were a Coventry Blaze, and we wanted you in Glasgow, and we wanted you back in Glasgow, and then you see Danny Stewart. Many people thought he'd probably never leave Coventry, but he's off to Nottingham. So sometimes these changes happen, and like I said, you never want to see anyone lose their job or whatever. But were you surprised actually to see Danny leave Coventry?
Yes and no, I think is probably the right answer. I think he deserves to go to Nottingham and do a job where he's going to have a bigger budget. Obviously, it's no secret. I think he'll do well there. He did well, very well in Coventry when I was there with me and all the other guys were there. We performed pretty good, and even last year they did well. So I think it should be a good challenge for him in Nottingham, and it's good to see him get a bigger team to work with.
And for us in Glasgow, I mean, certainly Corey comes in. I've said it on this program before on Clan Chat. The Challenge Cups, the playoff titles, the Continental Cups, that all speaks for itself. So when you get that call and you're like, wow, he wants to teach the game, and this is a guy that's won everything you can win in the Elite League, that's got to get you a little bit excited as a player as well.
Yeah, just knowing that he's been in Europe, he's with the GB team. He knows a lot of different systems. He knows how the league works, which is huge, and what I think works in our league because it's a different league for sure. He's going to get guys playing all on the same page. Everyone's going to be buying in all the time. There's going to be no time for anyone letting off, and if they let off, I think he'll let them know, which is what you need to win. That's how you win games and ultimately win championships too.
Craighead, lovely interplay. Clan in goal! Forbes gets the goal.
When you go to Utah there and you're chilling out with family a little bit and you're right in there in the process of naming the Utah Yeti there, obviously you're a big part of that. How does the training look? Because let's be honest, you finished 10th. Do you change the training up a little bit this summer and kind of change it up a little bit to heading into a new season, new start, new coach, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, well, I don't know if many people know. I don't know if you know. Salt Lake City is at about 4,500 feet of altitude above sea level. So I started running probably 3 to 4 miles a day just to get the legs back and get moving. But at this altitude, it's you notice it a lot different than you do when you're running back in the UK. It takes a hit and you get in shape pretty quick here. So just started running to get the legs back and get moving again when I came here. So should be in tip-top shape by the time the season comes. And then when I get home, I'll get back in the gym and get skating again and keep running, and just hopefully I will be a good shape.
It's interesting. I have been to Salt Lake. I've been to Provo, Utah as well.
Yeah.
So I do know it well. It's been a long time. I'm a lot older than you. Obviously, it's been a long time. It's probably changed a lot, but it is interesting. You do notice that. And I'm sure your first few runs, you feel like you've got a refrigerator on your back.
Yeah, it's a total different. I think the first day I went just for probably 2 miles, so I didn't get lost. I just knew where I was going. And I came back and I felt like I'd run 5. So but I'm getting there. It's never easy running, but especially up here, takes you about 30 minutes to get your breath back.
Yeah, I bet. So the off-season training is underway in the city of Salt Lake, and when we pick apart sort of hockey as a game, and it's interesting, some of the other clan chats we've done, like guys saying when you stop learning, or if you figure this is it, that's not a great day. For you as a young guy still, and a guy who can play forward and defense, and a guy that's been in Coventry and now in Glasgow, the learning and sort of improving year on year, that's got to be the goal too, because it's pretty hard to say, well, the only reason I'm doing this is to win the treble, because that's not something that's going to happen every year. Although we had back-to-backs with Belfast and Sheffield, but there certainly needs to be some personal goals along the way. So is there anything that you want to learn, or anything that you've targeted for this coming season that you want to improve upon?
I just want to win a lot of games. I know my role. I know if I score, that's great. If I get a couple of assists here and there, that's great. But ultimately, I like to be a team player, buy in, play. If I'm playing forward, if I'm playing D, it doesn't really bother me too much. I can do it on the fly. I'm happy to do it. Just happy to help the team, whatever situation, whether it's on the PK or just anything. So I like to just do anything, really, buy in to win. I like to set goals during the week for myself in practice to pick little things to get better at every day. I think, and learn off other guys, watch what other guys do, and try to pick apart their game and steal little things that they do every day, and hopefully add it into my own game.
Yeah, certainly. I guess like anyone, you'd be looking at the social medias or the clan website, and you'd be following along who's been added or who's
Yeah,
coming back. Or so when you see like I mean Pelly and Laco, obviously you know those guys oh so well. But when you see some of the additions so far, does it give you a bit of excitement and hope for next season as well? I mean, obviously new coach, new coaching staff, but some of the players that have been added, does it pique your interest?
yeah, for sure. I think having Pelly, Laco, and Reese back will be huge, obviously, and then having Hazel Dean here will be good too. It's another young Brit that's really skilled and good at what he does. So, and then we've got Dupree from Nottingham last year. I think he'll be, with his NHL experience, will be huge to everyone in the locker room, and not just the young guys. I think everyone can probably have something to learn off of him, and I think he'll be a big asset to the team for sure.
Do you remember playing against him last year? Because he's a mountain of a man, like, and you could see why he played in the NHL. Kind of the way he
Yeah,
reads the game and when he jumps into the play. Do you remember those? Because you had some good battles with the Panthers last year, a couple of high scoring games.
yeah. You don't miss him, that's for sure. He's a big body. He's good on the power play, and he's good. Well, you just know he's good. He knows what he's doing. He knows where to be and how to play the game. He's a hard player.
Trying to get it up to Lakovic. Lakovic works it onto County. Left for Forbes. On to County. 2-on-1 possibly now. County out front. Forbes jabs out, score! Oh, Forbes tucks it home!
I love that you said that because you know you're not 18 anymore. You are not, and you're not one of the elder statesmen. So, but with each year you want to improve. But here you are saying, well, it's great. I can learn from a guy like Simone with his NHL experience. So I'm sure you can go to him in practice and go, well, what would you do here on the half wall, or what do you do? Like it really is an invaluable asset, really, isn't it? On the ice, but off the ice as well.
Yeah, I think he's been around the best players in the world, like Crosby and all those guys. So he knows what it takes. He's been there. He's done it. He's proved it. So I think he's got a lot of wisdom to pass on to the next generation, especially some of the British guys who haven't been around guys like that. So especially if I go play D for some games or something for whatever reason, I'm sure he'll be happy to let me ask him questions and pick his brain on certain things, because I know I can get better at that role because it's not my natural position. So he'll be hopefully a big help to me if I need to ask him a few questions.
No, that's great. And when you were out, you were only out for a few games last year. We watched the morning practice, you and I, and we chatted about hockey and philosophy. And I love that. I love to hear guys' philosophies, and I love when guys are excited to learn from somebody that played at a higher level, perhaps, or someone that's played more games professionally. Like, yeah, a couple of guys last year told me that they didn't know who Robert Lakovic was when they first signed with the Clan, but they certainly knew within a few days who he was and what a sort of leader he was and what a decorated Brit player is. So it's important to look around and take things from not just the coaching staff, but also from the other guys in the room. And I guess that's what makes a good team.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know Laco at all. I'd never met him until the start of the season, and then we're having lunch every day after practice together. So we got on pretty well, and we get on pretty well still. So, and he's a bit of a goofball, but he's good at what he does. He knows. He's played for a long time. Obviously, he's very, very, very knowledgeable on the PK side of the game. He's always got his little tidbits and tricks that he's willing to help everyone with. Great on face-offs, and he works hard every day. And he brings it every game too. You've seen that this season. He just never let off at all.
Yeah, no, important and delighted to have both him and you. It's important that you say Reese Kelly there as well, and Mike Pelly. Those are four guys that certainly are important to come back, because look, there's always going to be change. Whether you win the treble, Sheffield are going to have changes, or whether you finish 10th, there's going to be changes. It's just the nature of hockey, and unfortunately, some guys move on. Unfortunately, there are coaching changes and all that. But it's also important that there will be new guys like Simone coming in. There's lots of other signings to come, obviously. But it's also important to have some guys that were there and experience perhaps, like disappointment last year, so that you can go, okay, look, we were treated well off the ice here, but it didn't work out. So what we need to do is, so it's important to have two sides of the coin, isn't it?
I think so. Like the guys that are coming back, we all know how stuff is run in the club, so we can help the new guys blend in quickly. Whereas last year, everyone was kind of fresh. Well, everyone was fresh, even the guys that like Counts that was there the year before. Even though as new owners, everything changed. So we all know how stuff works, who everyone is. We can put people in the right direction to get everyone settled in quickly off the ice, and then get going on the ice quickly. And then we kind of know the culture around the club. We know how things are done, where to go in the city to get guys settled in. So should be good.
We were joking there about the Utah NHL team, but you're in the right time zone there. Have you been watching any of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Because you don't have to wait till 3 a.m. You can watch it at a reasonable time. Have you been enjoying that?
I've been watching when I've not been playing golf. I've been trying to watch as many games as I can. Watched most of the Oilers games because we're on the same time. The East Coast games are a bit earlier here still, so usually having dinner or out doing something. But watched most of the Oilers games.
Do you have a pick for the Stanley Cup? I know a lot of the guys, a lot of our players, I would imagine. I talked to McKay the other day. He's in Edmonton, so he's obviously cheering for the Oilers. So are you cheering for the Oilers, or do you just want to see a good series with the Panthers?
A good series, and I think I want the Oilers to win. I think I do, because I think Canada deserves a Stanley Cup back in Canada for sure.
Long time since 1993. Seems like almost impossible that it could be that long. But I think for Connor McDavid it'd be pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
Well, look, enjoy the rest of your time in Salt Lake City. Enjoy the altitude running. You won't catch me running, especially with a refrigerator on my back anytime soon. But glad to hear that things are going well. We're delighted to have you back. Before we let you go and taking a round of golf in the sun there or whatever you're doing, do you have a message for the Purple Army just about like last year, and how we clear the decks and move forward?
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I love my time there. Last year wasn't what we expected for anyone that's involved in the club. No one was happy. So that's now in the past. We can't change anything. So we're going to move forward the right way. I'm going to work even harder to get things going the right way again, and try and be a leader in the room and have a voice and help where I can, and hopefully win something this year. So that's the goal.
Well, thank you so much, Forbesy. And I guess if the name Utah Yeti does get voted in, I'll know you had something to do with it, and I'll owe you a dinner for the Utah Yeti. So enjoy the rest of your time there. Thanks for taking the time on Clan Chat. And we look forward to seeing you back in Purple. And I look forward to seeing you for one of our morning chats real soon, bud.
Yeah, thank you.